Instagram has limitations with regards to me going live, so we've had to switch it to YouTube. Therefore, sharing this link on your socials would be very much appreciated. I'm going to wait around just a little bit to see if any more people come in, and then we'll get going. I'm also going to enjoy an iced coffee while I wait for people to come into the stream. I'm also just going to quickly repost the link on Discord, because I don't think many people are aware that we are live. It doesn't even look like there's anyone here. We will see. We will see. If anyone is here, can you say hello? I don't think anyone is here. So this might be a little bit pointless. I did ask the creator to post the social link on the story, but I think because of the time difference, he's not seen the message. Therefore, the link has not been posted. Therefore, I feel like I am speaking into the void and talking to myself. But we'll see. Hello. Can you do me a favor, if you're watching the stream, and post this social link to your socials to spread the word to other people? The creator of Rewindpix, I believe, is in a different time zone, and he hasn't posted this link on the story. Therefore, I don't think anyone can actually find the link. Would be amazing. I'm doing my best to try and post this social link and get a couple more people in, because so far we only have one person, and that's not great. Hopefully more people find this. We have 3 people. There you go. Don't be afraid to say hello in the chat. And fire away. 6 people. Okay, 8 people. There we go. Okay, we have some couple more people now. That's good. That's good. But yes, I'm here. 12 people. Okay, we're getting some people going now. We're getting some people. I'm here obviously to talk about the Rewindpix. Hello. How's everyone going? I am here to talk about the Rewindpix Kickstarter camera. So if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to know about the camera, this is your time. You can ask literally anything. The what? The Rewindpix camera. This camera. Not much. If you're not here for the Q&A for this camera, then no, it's not free. No. No. It's a question and answer about the camera. I'm one of the testers of this camera. Therefore, if you have no interest in this camera at all, and you've just stumbled across this, then it's probably not for you. If you are here for the question and answer about the camera, then by all means, fire your questions down below in the live chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. It's on Kickstarter. So if you go on Kickstarter and you literally search up Rewindpix Camera, you can find it. It is a screen-free digital camera that emulates film. So you can load it up with your own film recipes and your own film stocks, which has an app accompanying it. And yeah, you can load up your own film stocks. You can essentially shoot 36 shots as if it is a film camera. It has a 43mm filter thread on the front. It also has a xenon flash has a dedicated flash button. On the back, you have your OLED screen to select your filter with a button. You also have a menu. That's the Wi-Fi button. A menu button to switch between film mode and unlimited mode, and then you have a Wi-Fi button, which is used primarily to widely transfer photos between the camera and your phone. And you also use it to load the camera up with the film stocks. Now, the film stocks available on the app, you have 36 different film stocks, ranging from everything from Portrait 400. No, I'm not going to say hello to your chat. If you continue interrupting, you will be kicked out of the chat. Just letting you know. Okay, I don't understand why there are so many people here that aren't here for the question and answer for this camera. It's a little bit random. Hello, are you here for the Q&A for the Rewindpix camera? If you are, by all means, ask your questions below with regards to this camera, because I'm waiting for people who are interested in this camera to ask questions below. That is what this Q&A is all about. How much is the camera? I mean, like I said, this Q&A is for people that have already backed the camera. Therefore, it's on Kickstarter. This Q&A is primarily for people that have backed the camera and have already pledged for the camera. I'm just here to answer the common questions that people may have with regards to the camera that are on Kickstarter. Okay, bye. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Okay. I'm kind of unsure why you feel the need to announce that you're leaving. Adios. So does anyone actually have any questions, or are we just here to stare at my face? I don't think anyone can find the live stream. Yeah. Hello. Is anyone here who actually has questions regarding the Rewindpix camera? Oh my god. No, you're not. I don't believe anyone's actually here who generally has questions with regards to the Rewindpix. It's a bit awkward. I'm waiting to see if anyone actually comes in who actually has questions regarding the camera, because so far there doesn't seem to be anyone. I'll stay live for an extra 5 minutes to see if anyone actually comes in that generally has any questions or concerns regarding the Rewindpix camera. If they don't, then I'm just going to end the stream. I thought I'd offer an opportunity for people to ask their questions or concerns with regards to the camera, with regards to someone who actually is testing the camera. So yeah, if you haven't got any questions regarding the camera, then I'm going to be ending the stream in 5 minutes. Just before I let you know. I mean, I don't have to do this, deciding to do it because I know there's a lot of people that have concerns with regards to the shutter lag of the camera. I know that there's a lot of people that have concerns with regards to the highlight clipping of the camera. I can address all of that, but if I don't get asked the questions with regards to this, then what's the purpose of this live stream, you know? I don't know if anyone's actually here that actually has questions. Anyone? Would anyone like to ask any questions with regards to the Rewindpix camera? I assume that's why we're here, right? I'm kind of waiting for someone to type a question in the chat. Otherwise, we can just sit here in silence and stare at my face. That's perfectly fine too. However, like I announced before, I will be ending the stream in a couple of minutes if I don't receive any questions. Huh? What does it say? Hi there, you mentioned that you changed something on your camera. Could you explain that? How's it different from... I mean, I don't really understand your question. How is it different from before you took it apart? I haven't mentioned anything with regards to changing anything on my camera. Can you elaborate on your question? I haven't changed anything. I'm just testing the Rewindpix. The only thing I've literally done is I've taken the plastic protector module, the little plastic piece that normally covers this lens module. I've taken that off. That's pretty much it. I also have screwed this 43mm to 58mm adapter on a bit too tight. I can't even get it off. So yeah. So, oh, the plastic thing, yes. So the plastic thing, I took it out because I wanted to see if it would change the resolution. So for me, it has made a very big difference. But anyway, would you like to see what you would receive? So when you get your Rewindpix in the mail, you'll get a box. It'll look like this. It'll have a barcode on the side. Very pretty. Lots of stuff. Yada yada. When you open the box, you're greeted with this. Now, you probably can't see that on stream, but I'll just read it out to you. So when you open the box, there will be a barcode on the left that will take you to the Google Store. So that's for your Android users to download the app. And then on the right-hand side is a barcode that will take you to the Instagram of the Rewindpix camera. I've also realized the barcode is for both. It's for Android as well as iOS. There's no USB cable actually in the box. You will have to provide your own USB-C. Inside the box, you will find one screwdriver. I've just realized there's no bits in this. Let me have a look. Oh wait, there is, yeah. You have to unscrew it. I believe it's a safety thing. So you get a nice little screwdriver key ring, so you can undo the screw at the bottom of the camera to take out the SD card. So that's very nice. You obviously get the camera itself. You don't get the adapter. That's obviously my adapter. That's a 43mm to 58. You get an extra shutter button. You get an orange one. The one that I have is actually a silver one. The silver one is actually the extra one. I changed it to the silver one because I want it to be a little bit different. You get stickers, obviously. Everyone loves stickers. So you get one in white and one in black. Now, on top of that, you also get a... It's going to be difficult for me to get this out because it's so flat. So bear with me. You get a quick start guide with all the instructions here. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but yeah, basically just labeling all the functions of the camera, what they do, yada yada. And then on the back is a quick start guide telling you how to charge the camera, how to power it on, how to power it off, how the flash works, how to take a photo, how to switch modes, and how to turn the Wi-Fi on and off. Now, just to address some concerns, I don't know how many people are here that have watched any of the reviews that are online or any of those things. I believe there is a review by a YouTuber by the name of Nikolai Presti, who I believe pretty much destroyed the camera or talked ill of the camera. Now, I want to address that just by clarifying that YouTuber received a older version of the Rewindpix. Since then, there have been a lot of marked improvements, including added firmware, the UI of the app being refreshed and rebuilt. So a lot of things have changed. Therefore, he actually reviewed and tested an older unit, and I don't believe that is a true representation of where the Rewindpix camera is at now. Now, just to address some issues, a lot of people obviously talked about the shutter delay. Now, with regards to the shutter delay, there was a firmware update that when you click the shutter, there is now a flashing LED. I don't know how well I can demonstrate this on camera, but I'll just show you. So when you take a picture, you'll see there's a flashing LED there. And that is just to indicate that it's obviously taking a picture and that the data is transferring to the SD card. I believe there was a kind of breakdown of communication. When they were talking about shutter lag, I think what the creator actually meant was the processing time that it takes the camera to take a picture and then transfer it to the SD card. However, if you're just using a standard Class 10 SD card, I'm pretty sure you have no issues. I've had no shutter delay with this camera at all, and I'm a fully fledged adult. I can hold a camera, I can take a picture, it's no issue. There's 36 different film simulations available on the app, ranging from all things from Portra 400 simulations or emulations, all the way to Gold 200. There's Africa 400s, there's Aerocolor, there's Purple, there's Retro Cine, which I believe is like a close emulation of Cinestill without the halation. However, there is currently developments, I believe, from the creator. He's speaking to a developer to add halation in the app, so that is on its way. Currently in the app, like I said, we have 36 film simulations. There's also effects, so you have such things as timestamp, light leaks, and loads of other stuff. With those 36 film simulations, you can customize them and personalize them to your individual taste however you wish. You can change everything. You can change the contrast, you can change the brightness, you can change the exposure, you can change how the camera will treat highlights. What advice would you give to an absolute beginner to get the best results with this camera? So in order to get the best results, I think just go out and have fun. Don't treat it as a professional camera. That's what I did. Literally, I don't think you need to do anything special with this camera, and I think that's pretty much what sets this camera apart. Now, obviously, when we talk about this camera, we can't ignore the competitors, mainly this one. I think everyone knows what this is. I have to hide the label, obviously, for legality reasons, but I'm pretty sure we all know what this camera is. I'm pretty sure if I turn on the camera, we all know what camera this is. Now, this is the version 105. Obviously, it has, you know, LEDs and whatever. This is not the camera. This is the competitor's camera. Now, one issue I will say with the competitor's camera is, especially with this one, is there is a lot of shutter delay. So when you click the shutter on that, there's a lot of shutter delay. Therefore, if you're not holding your hand steady with the competitor's camera, you end up with blurry photos. However, on the Rewindpix, that is completely eliminated because, like I said, there's been a firmware update. You get a flashing LED and it clearly indicates and shows you exactly how long you should hold it to take a photo. On top of that, because the LED is so bright, you actually see it in the viewfinder as well. So you have a visual indication that the camera is actually recording the photo. So, I don't know if you can see that, but there are guidelines in the viewfinder as well. The LED is right there. And then because this is pretty see-through, I'll just demonstrate. Just turn the camera on quickly. So when the camera's on, you can obviously see the LED there. So when I click and take a photo, you can see the LED obviously flashes. I can't really show it on the camera because obviously I'm doing this on an iPad, but you get the idea. You get the idea. On the back, you obviously have a switch. You can toggle between all the different film modes. This is unlimited mode. So you have obviously mono is number 3. You have breezy cool, and you have sunny warm. Now, with the unlimited mode, you can take as many photos as you want until the SD card is completely full. In the camera itself, it comes with a 4 GB included card. That's on the bottom of the camera, so if I just want to quickly get the screwdriver out, that is included with the kit. You can basically, on the bottom of the camera, it's reversed for me, so apologies. On the bottom of the camera here, you've got a little screw, and then all you got to literally do is undo that screw, and this will come away, and you'll have the SD card, and you can click it and pop it out. I'll just do that for you, just to demonstrate. Oh wait, I've just realized that is the wrong side. It's this side. You have a double-sided screwdriver. So the beauty is I can screw it on either side and turn it into a very nice screwdriver. It's also very nice that Rewindpix have included this in the box. It is a little bit fiddly to do because it is quite a small screwdriver, but it is nice that they include it. So you just have to bear with me. I've got very fat fingers. Okay, I cannot do it with a mini screwdriver because, like I said, I have fat fingers. Do I have a screwdriver nearby? I do. So I'm going to use this one quickly, just to demonstrate in the bottom. Screw, 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 screw. Don't use the screw because it's absolutely tiny. Could you still edit those default film modes in the app, like the hue saturation? Do you mean the free pre-built one? The free pre-installed filters you cannot change. However, there are talks to allow you to change them. However, with regards to that, with the other 36 different film sims, you can customize them however you wish. There's settings for, like I said, there's settings for contrast, brightness, saturation, exposure, highlight, shadow, grain. Grain's the most important one. So with regards to changing the grain, that carries over to every photo that you take. So you can obviously set your own grain tastes however you wish to your own individual film stocks, and then load them onto the camera, and then the camera will remember what grain that you've selected, and each photo will have that grain density or consistency over the whole image. And that's essentially how you get the film look. You don't have to have a grain, you can take it off. It's very subtle. You don't have to change your highlights, you don't have to change your shadows. However, the option is there should you wish to do so. I've also just lost the mini screw, so I'm gonna have to find that later. It's somewhere. But essentially at the bottom here, you have the SD card. You also have a reset button right there should you have problems with the camera. This right here is a tripod mount. You can mount it onto a tripod. And then on the side here, you obviously have lanyard loops should you wish to add a lanyard or a strap. What else can I tell you? This is obviously a cold shoe. It's not a hot shoe. We tested it with a number of different flashes. The best one I can recommend to use with the camera is the Medalite or Medalite. I don't know how you pronounce it. The Medalite F30, which is a flash that has optical slave function. What that means is when you click the camera and use the flash on the camera, this flash will set off the Medalite's flash. And what that means is because the sensor is also detachable, you can essentially put the sensor of the Medalite on top of here and then take the flash, the actual Medalite flash, and set it somewhere else and essentially have an off-camera flash, but it's an optical. So what that means is this flash will trigger first and then the Medalite's flash will trigger when it's essentially triggered by this, if that makes sense, which is pretty cool. For that kind of photography, I would probably recommend getting a continuous light for low light. As opposed to a flash, but that's just me personally. The flash in this is very powerful. It's a xenon flash. It's not an LED. Yeah, the minimum focusing distance of this camera is 1 meter. It is a 35mm f2.2. It does very well in low light. I don't know if I can share my screen. Let me have a look because I have a whole bunch of photos on here. You'll have to bear with me because I don't know how I do that. No, I don't want the green screen. Oh, I guess we can green screen. This feature requires photo access. Not now. Oh, we don't want to do that. I'm trying to figure out there's a screen share function, but I don't think there is. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think, like I said, the main concerns that people had is that there's shutter lag. There is no shutter lag. That was addressed. I think the earlier ones had shutter lag because, like I said, they were figuring out the firmware and what works with the camera. And I think in the early stages of camera development, you're obviously going to have shutter lag because you're still trying to work out what firmware you want to develop and how that translates into how the app will then be built. I don't think when they were first testing the camera that the app even had any functionality. Now at the stage we're at where they are essentially moving towards mass production, they have finalized the app. There's, like I said, the UI's got a complete overhaul. You can go on pictures, you can like hold the I button to see like a before and after, very similar to what you can do on I'm trying to think what app. On Instagram. I know on Instagram you can like hold a photo and you can see like a before and after. It's very similar in the app. We have a very similar feature. They also have a double exposure function, which is like a creative lab thing in the darkroom. So you can basically take 2 different photos and combine them together. Trying to think what else we have. There's loads. It's almost like mine's just going because there's so many things that I have to remember. But yeah, all the different film simulations are really, really cool. I think the favorite amongst a lot of the testers has been PT400 LC, which is essentially a Portra 400 kind of clone with a low contrast. A lot of people seem to like it. Very filmic, very nice, very cool. There's also GLLC, which is the Gold 200 low contrast. Again, a Gold 200 clone, which mimics kind of Kodak Gold 200 very closely. That was really nice as well. Retro Cine has been a favorite for low light. Very kind of like, you know, cinematic looking. Really, really does really well in low light. Cyber Warm is another one that does really well in low light. There's a purple which looks very similar to kind of lomography purple. That's really nice. There's an IR color which looks very similar to Error Color. I've kind of tweaked it to actually look more like Error Color, using actual film scans I have from shooting Error Color in the past and comparing that to what we have in the app. And I've kind of made my own little recipes and stuff, and it's fun. It's really, really, really fun. And essentially, I think the move going forwards is going to be that people can create their recipes and then we can share them in like a little marketplace thing. But the whole general vibe of the Rewindpix, I think it's all built around community. There's a dedicated Discord. They have a whole bunch of sample images ranging all the way from when the camera was first being tested to currently. There's a whole host of testers, camera testers all around the world, from America to Asia to the UK to Europe, you name it. There's people everywhere shooting all different kind of things. So you've got black and white, you've got color, you've got purple, you've got purple and white. So yeah, loads of different options. With regards to the plastic thing that I just removed what is essentially the little plastic protector in front of the lens. It doesn't really change anything. You don't have to remove it. I just did it because I like experimenting. I like modding things. In order to remove it, I did have to pretty much unscrew all the screws in the camera and take the whole thing apart. I then had to get into the PCB. I had to disconnect all the wires. I had to essentially rip the whole thing apart, take the plastic thing out, and then essentially put it all back together again in the hope that the camera would still work, which it does. It actually was really easy. Wasn't an issue at all. I found it very carefree and easy. But yeah, what else can I say? So I'm currently using the camera with a 43mm to 58mm step-up ring. I don't have any vignetting, and then I like to pair it with the K&F Black Diffusion 1/4 and variable. So this is a variable ND filter and a mist filter in one. It's a quarter strength. It's very good. Oh, I just unscrewed it. It's very good. I like it very much because it has this little lever here you can use to kind of do the ND. You don't need an ND. Personally, I don't think you do, because I don't, because I shoot at night time. However, if you're shooting in sunny conditions, I probably would recommend one. Probably the strength of anything between kind of an ND4 and an ND8. I'd probably recommend for this camera, just so you don't clip your highlights, especially in kind of very sunny conditions. So yeah, that's, I believe, a pretty good summary of the camera. If anyone's got any further questions, fire them away. I am more than happy to answer pretty much anything, and I will do my best. I can tell you about shipping timeframes. I can tell you when the camera is expected to ship. Yeah, I can tell you lots of things. I can tell you the minimum and maximum ISO of the camera. I can tell you the shutter speeds, all that kind of stuff. I made sure I got that information from the creator before I started this stream. So, yeah, fire away. And also, apologies if I look absolutely terrible. I was napping because I'm a night worker. So, I probably look absolutely terrible right now. So, I do apologize. I wish I could screen share because my favorite part of the camera. Ooh. I think my favorite part of the camera is just, it's the simplicity of using it. I mean, I'm a professional photographer by trade anyway. I shoot predominantly low light. I shoot on a GH5 Mark II. And I shoot with kind of vintage lenses on a day-to-day basis. Now, as much as this is a toy camera, it wouldn't normally be something that I would, go to a store and pick up, essentially. However, having testing it and using it, and I can say this with confidence, I'm not being paid to say this. These are my own thoughts. If I don't like something, I'm going to be transparent and tell people. I reckon this is probably the closest you can get to having fun with a Fuji without actually paying for a Fuji, because this is a lot cheaper. And I generally mean that. And I've shot Fujis. I've shot the X1000 VI. I have a, where is it? I have one of these. I shoot this on a day-to-day basis for work. This is the Fujifilm F200 EXR. I have another one literally right in front of me. I also shoot the F770 EXR. So I shoot this Fujifilm as well. And as much as I love Fuji, and as much as I love Fuji's color science, I've got to hand it to Rewindpix and the developers. They've really nailed it. You can have a lot of fun with this. And the film recipes and simulations are, I think, as close as you can get to having as much fun with the camera as you do with the Fuji. The fact that you can edit all the film recipes to your own taste, you can add grain, you can change the highlights, you can change the shadows. It's honestly so fun. Like I sit sometimes just here on my sofa and literally just take a raw image that I've taken with the camera, and I'll just play with all the different film simulations and kind of see what I can come up with. And I think the most fun you can have with the camera is just experimenting with the different film simulations and seeing what you can come up with. When is the estimated delivery for Germany, both full pledge and pledge over time? So if you full pledge, the delivery time frame is, I believe, the end of May. However, if you're pledging over time, because obviously you're paying over a given period of time, the camera won't ship until, I believe, the second payment has been taken, which isn't until June, I believe. So your camera won't probably start shipping until kind of mid-June, because I think the second payment is like June the 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Which is why I actually changed my pledge from pledge over time to just straight away take it, because I was like, I want this camera shipped to me ASAP. What else can I tell you? There is a transparent version that I believe is currently in development and in the works. I believe it's like a black translucent version. There was a couple of prototypes that were shown to people on the Discord, and I think we weren't too happy with how translucent it was. I think a lot of people want color. However, at this stage, because he's obviously moving towards mass production, I don't think he's in the position to kind of go and kind of find loads of different colors. So I think he's just trying to please the audience of us, the Discord people. And I think we've responded by saying, there's no need to have a transparent version as of now. Just get the versions that we have, which are these and the Moonrock version out, and then we'll go from there. I've been speaking with the creator on a regular basis because I've ADHD. I overanalyze things and kind of give lots of tips and stuff with regards to the camera. I've spoken with the creator with regards to what comes after this camera. So I have information about that as well that I've got to keep very quiet. There will be other versions. There will be a Pro version, I'm sure. There will be advanced features on the Pro version, such as magnetic grips and all this kind of stuff, and a whole host of other accessories. However, I can't speak too much about it as of now, because I don't know kind of what is in the pipeline, if that makes sense. Obviously, it all stems on the success of this camera as to what will come next. I do know that halation is going to be added to the app at a later time. I think that's in the works, but he is working with a developer who is very known for their kind of halation software. So we'll see how that goes. I made a couple of recommendations to him as well with regards to reaching out to people such as R&I Films and other kind of software developers that create kind of film presets, maybe with regards to getting some kind of actual realistic reference film grain integrated into the app. So yeah, I think there's a lot of development work going on behind the scenes. The creator is very active in the Discord, always very happy to answer questions. The software development lady is also very active in the Discord, always answering all the questions. It feels very, I wouldn't even say it feels like a community. It feels like a family. It feels like we kind of have a very close knit family. It's almost like you're speaking to your dad. Almost, it's weird in that aspect, but it's nice. It's nice to have a creator who is kind of in touch with the community and actually wants to create a product that isn't just for him. That obviously is for us as well. So yeah, but yeah. Welcome in. If you have any other questions or concerns regarding the Rewindpix camera, by all means, post it in the chat below, and I'll be more than happy to answer any and all questions. Or just make it fun and ask me a question about the camera or some of the photos I've taken. I wish I could show you some photos and do some screen share. I think the best I can do is probably show you photos on my phone, but I don't know how well they're going to show up because I'm just streaming from my iPad. So I do apologize. There were some limitations, unfortunately, with Instagram. Apparently, I can't live stream on Instagram unless I have 1,000 followers, and on my personal Instagram account, I currently only have 504. So those are the limitations, unfortunately. So yeah, ask away. Whatever questions or concerns you may have, feel free. I can show you some photos I took today. So this is a error color clone. I don't know how well this is going to show on camera, but I will try my best. Let me just turn down the brightness. I feel like the brightness is probably going to ruin this for the camera. See how well this shows on camera. And you've got glare. That's not going to work, is it? Well, you kind of get the gist, right? You get the gist. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but you kind of get the gist of what you can do. You know, you can change colors and saturation. I'll tell you what I can show you is the app while we're here. Again, it's going to be glare, but work with me here, okay? There's limitations. There's only so much I can do. If I was on Twitch, I could probably show a lot more, but unfortunately, I don't have a Twitch. So yeah, so when you go on the app, you have a whole bunch of, oh, crikey, a whole bunch of film stocks. Now, I don't know how well I can show this. There you go. So you have a whole bunch of film stocks here. You can scroll through. There's so many different ones there. Right, so let's just say, for example, we want to click on this one. So we click on this one, you get an example image. It tells you what the film stock is. This is PC400 LC, very popular. If you then click on customize here, you can essentially scroll through all the different film stocks here and make customization options with all of them. Obviously, as you can see, there's a lot. And then when you scroll through them, you can see there's loads of different options. So you've got brightness there. You've got, I can't read backwards. You've got contrast. You've got saturation there. You've got exposure. You've got highlights, shadows, vibrance, warmth, vignette, grain. And you can customize all of these. Now, what you can also do is you can save the photo. So you can upload your own photo that you want to use and make changes with to see how they would be affected by the film stock. And then you can save that photo. Or if you want to save it as its own film stock, you can do that as well. And then you can save the film stock. So say, for example, you want to save it. We click here and save. You can name it, and then it is in the app. And then you can essentially use that film stock consistently. So say, for example, I don't know, you create a really fun black and white film stock that you want to use consistently while you're on holiday. You can do that. Say, for example, you want to create a Kodak Ultramax 400 type clone, and you can create it in the app. You can do that, and then you can load it to your camera, and you can take Ultramax style photos. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There's loads of different options. Now, when you go in the darkroom or you upload your photos to the app, you'll be met with this kind of screen. So as you can see, you can kind of scroll through and see kind of miniature versions of your photos. You don't have to upload all the photos. You don't have to take a full 36 rolls of shots either. You can take anything from 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. I believe with this screen, there has been a couple of feedback points from testers saying that they'd love for this screen to resemble a contact sheet, very similar to what the Fujifilm X-Half has in their app. So far, no advancements in that at all. However, I believe the developer of the app is looking into options to implement that. So we will see. Fingers crossed. What else do we have? So we also have Creative Lab at the top here. There you can see, I don't know if you can see that. It says Creative Lab there at the top with double exposure. So if we click on double exposure, you'll be met with this screen, and you can select a left in image and a right image. And then if you do that, you can then set the strength here, which is just the opacity slider. And you can obviously then change the opacity of the image. So yeah, if there's any more questions, fire down below if you have any more questions. Also, on top of that, I have lost the screw for the SD card in demonstrating how to unscrew it. I'm sure I will find it, but so far, I don't know where that little screw's gone. It seems I have misplaced it. So yeah, if you have any questions or concerns about the Rewindpix Kickstarter camera, please feel free to ask them below. I will be live for another 8 minutes, and then I will end the stream at 7 p.m. USCT, or 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, because I am in the UK. So yeah, fire away. Any questions at all? Any concerns? What are you most looking forward to? What would you most like to see on the camera? Any suggestions? Any recommendations? We have stickers. There's stickers. Do I look cool? Do I look cool? I don't know. Maybe I look cool. I thought I looked cool. Should I stick it on my head? I can stick it on my head. But yeah, stickers are pretty cool. They come in the box. I think what's neat about the camera as well is the fact that they include like a little mini screwdriver keyring thing. I really like this because like even if like I get it, like you can use it with the camera, but like even if you don't use it with the camera, like this is such a neat little tool just to have on your keyring, you know, to have a flathead screwdriver and a crosshead screwdriver, just miniature ones on you wherever you go. It's like there's such a handy little thing to have. And this isn't even terrible quality. This is like it's metal. It's actual metal. It's just pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah. What else can I say about the camera? So no USB-C cable is included in the box. You don't have to transfer pictures wirelessly. You can do it via USB-C. However, I just do it wirelessly. It's just easier. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't really know what else to tell you about the camera, apart from I'm pretty excited for the full release of this thing, because it's amazing. I really like it. I'm hyped to see it in people's hands and see what they come up with. I'm hyped to see what kind of recipes, like film recipes, people come up with. Because yeah, this thing is amazing. I think compared to competitor cameras that I've tried, including the cam that shall not be named, and the other camera, the back, this is superior to them in all ways. The build quality is very solid. I could probably hammer nails into my wall using this camera. Like literally. That's how much faith I have in the construction of this. This thing is solid. Like I feel like this was injection molded or something, or the creator just put his time and work in, because this thing is literally solid. So yeah, if you have any questions with regards to the Rewindpix camera, please feel free to ask them below. I will quickly check the chat to see if anyone has asked anything. Oh. Sorry, I didn't even see this. Been looking for samples in YouTube and there's barely any from previous reviewers. Hoping to see that on your personal review of your demo unit. There's loads of samples on the Discord. I keep telling people to go to Discord. We literally have like over thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures. The winder's fine. I have no issues with the winder at all. I've been using it like all the time. No issue at all. Oh yeah, the flash. You want to see how the flash is, or how flashy it is. So that's the flash. Sorry, I have to keep clicking the button because it says all messages are visible for live chat and it slows down. And for a third question, Laura, having been able to mess with settings to get a Fujifilm look. There's actual Fujifilm film recipes in the app. So we have a Fujifilm low contrast, there's a Fujifilm high contrast, there's a Fujifilm vivid, and I believe there's a Fujifilm expired as well. And also, either way, I'm 100% going to keep it metal or not. Would you recommend this camera over the CamSnap Original and or Pro? I'd recommend this camera massively over the CamSnap Original and or Pro. I have the CamSnap Original, and I also have the Pro. The thing I hate about the competitor camera, and I shouldn't even talk about the CamSnap really, but I'm going to, because it's the question that's on everyone's lips. You know, is this camera better than the CamSnap or the CamSnap Pro? I can confidently say yes, by all means, and I'll explain why. So the difference between the Rewindpix and the CamSnap is in the way that the image is processed. So with the CamSnap and the CamSnap Pro, a lot of those cameras rely on kind of in-body processing, you know, the over-sharpening of the image, the interpolation of the image, all that kind of thing. And the problem with the CamSnap is they've added so much sharpening to the image to the point where it looks slightly fake, especially on the Pro. I've noticed it more on the Pro than I have on the version 103B and the version 105. Now with the Rewindpix, there is no over sharpening at all. It's almost like they've just switched it off. There's no over sharpening. There's no weird kind of artifacting. It's pretty much like what you see is what you get, and that's what I really like about it. I've taken kind of raw JPEGs with this. We call them raw. What I mean by that is it's an unfiltered picture. You haven't applied a film stock. It's just a picture straight from the camera. I've taken unfiltered picture with this camera and compared it to the pictures taken with the CamSnap, and I can quite happily say that this blows it out of the water, like massively. Like literally, I don't know how else I can convince you, but like it slaps. Like literally slaps. As someone who's always wanted one of the expensive Fujifilm cameras, like I've always wanted like an X Pro 2 or X Pro 3 or any of the kind of XT5s, etc., etc. I could never afford them, and I've always kind of wanted to have the fun of Fuji without paying kind of a Fuji price. This camera is pretty much the closest you can get to having the Fuji experience, but on a budget. It's literally like a beginner's Fuji camera, if that makes sense. There was a comparison that we had on the Discord actually, and this is the coolest comparison that I will literally bring up. So someone on our Discord community actually took a Fujifilm disposable film camera and took a photo, and then essentially took the same image on the Rewindpix test unit they had. And then what they did on the Rewindpix test unit is they used a Fujifilm film simulation. And then they compared the real life film image from the disposable Fujifilm camera to the Rewindpix Fujifilm film simulation. And the images literally side by side, you can tell a difference. Obviously, the one on the Rewindpix camera had a little bit more grain added to it, but honestly, we couldn't tell a difference. And that is what I think is quite remarkable about this camera. It's like, it looks like a toy camera. I get it. The same as all the other screen-through cameras, like the CamSnap, the Flashback, you name it. The thing that sets this camera apart is how much it will surprise you in the situations that you throw it at. Every time I take this camera out, I'm like, yeah, the highlights are going to clip. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. The low light picture is not going to look great. And then I get back and I upload these photos to my phone and I look at them and I'm like, okay, fair enough. This camera slaps. Like, it punches way above its belt, like way above its belt. And I don't know how it does it, but like fair play to the team. You know, it's a Sony IMX sensor that one would think would struggle in low light, because it's not, you know, it's not a high end sensor. It's one that pretty much all the screen free camera people are using. However, the difference between all the screen free cameras is how the software that the camera is using is written and how the camera uses the sensor and the software together. That's the main thing that I think sets it apart. And the fact that this, like I said, this has had the sharpening turned off. It's had all that over processing turned off. So the pictures that you're taking are you know, they're not over sharpened, they're not over processed. They're literally like I said, what you see is what you get. And then to be able to apply some film simulations to that image is crazy. And like I said, you can make your own film recipes and load them onto the camera. So it's almost like having 3 different film stocks in your pocket at all times. Now, as someone who shoots analog film themselves, I know how expensive film is. Believe me, film and processing is like super expensive. And I enjoy shooting film like the next person. I love shooting portrait. I love shooting Cinestill 800T. I love all of that stuff. However, I can't sit here and honestly say that, am I really going to shoot, you know, a film for the rest of my life? Am I really going to spend kind of, you know, 15 quid a roll of Cinestill 800T? And then on top of that, the problem with Cinestill as well is you still got to get it developed. You still got to pay for scanning. The costs eventually start to slowly add up. And I get it, you know, there's Fujifilms out there that slap things out of the water. There's Fujifilm film recipes that everyone loves. Like, I get it. However, the problem with a lot of these Fujifilm cameras is you're going to be paying anything on the market of kind of 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 plus. And then on top of that, you have no clue if that camera is for you. Now, as someone who's testing the Rewindpix, I think this is the closest you can get to having a Fujifilm camera in your pocket without all the bells and whistles. I think this is literally the most simplistic way to get the Fuji look on a budget. Easily. You don't, obviously it's a screen-free camera. You can just click a picture, wind, and forget about it. It's so simple to use and so easy. And I think the results are going to very pleasantly surprise a lot of people. I'm going to quickly just check the chat because it keeps not showing me the chat. So bear with me. Let me just scroll through. Do you know when is the estimated delivery for Germany? Both full pledge, I've already answered that. Do we know if the metal body is going to look the same but metal? If you're on the Discord, there's actually a teaser of the aluminium metal body actually in the Discord. This is why I keep deferring people to the Discord. I'm 100% going to keep it, metal or not. Would you recommend this camera over the Camsat Ridgeline Pro? I've already said I would prefer the Rewindpix all day. Third question, have you been able to mess with settings to get a Fujifilm look? We have Fujifilm looks in the app. Hello from Discord. Hello. Be looking for samples on YouTube and there's barely any from previous reviewers. Hope to see that on your personal review of your demo unit. I will be reviewing this unit on my personal YouTube. This is not my personal YouTube, by the way. This is my old YouTube, but it's the only one that I can live stream on, so I apologize. My actual personal YouTube that I will be reviewing this unit on is on my YouTube channel called Nick Knack Click. How's the winder with over months of use? It works. How's the viewfinder? Is it offset or accurate? The viewfinder is accurate. I think many people that reviewed this assumed that it wasn't accurate because of this. The difference is it's magnified. So I don't know if you can see that very well, but there is actually a unit in there and it magnifies this. And in taking images and kind of, you know, framing up my composition and taking images, I've had no issue with it. All my compositions come out exactly how I wanted them to be composed, so I have no issue with that at all. Like I said, the units, I think the problem has been that a lot of the reviews that you were seeing of this camera are of early demo units of this before all the improvements were made. So people were getting versions where they didn't have the LED flash that you now get that shows you that you've taken an image and that the image has obviously been recorded to the SD card. They don't have those units. I do have that unit because this is literally the latest firmware on the camera. So I'm quite lucky. On top of that, there was an update made where you can actually turn the camera off as well. You don't have to have it on all day. You can hold down the, pardon me, you can hold down the Wi-Fi and menu button to turn it on and off. So I can just demonstrate that. So I'm going to have to be upside down. I apologize. So as you can see, the camera's on. So if I hold down these 2 buttons here, that means the flash is on, by the way, the red LED. I can also turn it off. So if I just do that, you'll see the LED goes off, LED goes on, LED goes off. So as you can see, you've got the 2 buttons at the back here. You've got the menu and the Wi-Fi button. So if I just hold those down, and voila, camera turns off. And then obviously to turn on the camera, all you have to literally do, click shutter button, wind, and camera turns on. And again, hold down the buttons, you can turn it off. Very simple. So yeah, I have no issues with it. I love it. Let's have a look at some more questions. How's the viewfinder? Is it offset accurate? Just want to thank you for doing this for us non-testers. You're crushing it. Thanks, gamer. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I'm not a live streamer, so could be as messy as it is. I apologize. I'm trying my best. The creator is very shy and doesn't really want to do a live stream, so I took matters into my own hands and said I would essentially carry the weight and do it myself. So here I am. But yeah, any questions you have at all, fire them away. Nothing is, as big or as small. I can run you through a couple of facts that I got from the creator himself. So I'll just go through those with you. So from the creator himself, a couple of facts. So the shipping date is starting the first week of June. That is when the shipping date is for people that have done the full pledge, not the pledge over time. The minimum focusing distance of the camera is 1 meter. The shutter speed is anything from 1 second to 1/2000 of a second. Now, currently the camera is not set up for kind of slow or long exposure. However, I believe they're going to fine tune it so that we can do long exposure. It should be an app update at some point. Currently, the camera is set to 1/60th to 1/2000th of a second, if that makes sense. And the ISO is between 100 and 6400. The flash on the unit is a xenon flash. It's not an LED flash. But yeah, if anyone has any further questions or any further concerns, feel free. What else I can let you know? So because there have been pledge targets that have been met on the Kickstarter, all backers of the Rewindpix Camera will also get a whole bunch of freebies with their camera. So far, those freebies include the 16 added effects in the app. You've also got the UV filter. You've also got I believe, a Kickstarter exclusive green button, like shutter button. I believe because we've now reached 800k pledges, I believe we also get a half strength mist filter, which I think is very beneficial because mist filters in themselves are just goldmine. Even if you don't use it in the Rewindpix, you can use it, via step-up rings or step-down rings on any other camera. So that in itself is a massive kind of investment even to have. Yeah, awesome. I'm really looking forward to using a half mist filter. I currently use a quarter strength. I think I said a quarter strength mist VND filter, and I love it. The vintage vibes I get off it really generally look like film. I'm not just saying this to hype up the camera. I'm not being paid to say this. These views are my own, I assure you. I have a multitude of cameras that I shoot with that also get me the film look. Like I said, I shoot with digicams on a regular basis. The Fujifilm F770 EXR and the Fujifilm 220 EXR. And yeah, like, to carry around digicams can be a little bit annoying because the batteries on them run out way too quickly. And this is technology from like 2009. Battery life on this, right? This is going to shock a lot of people. I charged this up last Monday, and we're still. Bear in mind, I've gone through 36 shots pretty much every day. You see that? I'm still on full battery life. That's a lot of pictures. That's 36 shots every single day since last Monday. We are currently on Thursday. Is it Thursday? Thursday for me in the UK anyway. So it's lasted me over a week of use, and I still have full battery. So pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. What else can I tell you? I believe in in, I believe it's film mode or unlimited modes, don't quote me on this, but one of the two modes, when you take photos with the film stocks applied, the SD card will also save the photos without the filter applied. Do you charge it with a brick or over a laptop? Both. You can literally use a USB-C cable. So let me see if I've got one here to demonstrate. I do not really, but I can show. But yeah, you just have a USB-C plug on the side. You plug it in like that, and you just plug it in at any plug. You can. I don't think these are fast charge compatible, but don't quote me on that. I've used the fast charge and I have no issues with it. But don't quote me on that. I wouldn't say it's safe to use a fast charger with it. So don't, don't do as I say. Just, use your own discretion. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But for me, it works. So I don't know if that means it's PD compatible, but works for me. So, but yeah, I think you can just charge it with a normal kind of, just a normal brick thing, like a normal plug. This is just an Apple One that I use. This is I don't know why Apple writes it so small. It's almost like I have to have like a magnifying glass with that. I believe it's a 30 watt. Is it a 30 watt? Yeah, 30 watt. This is a 30 watt. So just gonna see if there are any further questions. Just want to thank you for doing this for us non-testers. You're crushing it. Thanks again, man. Just trying my best, man. Just trying my best. Do any other people have any further questions or any concerns that they would like me to address or answer for you? And I'll try my best. Maybe you want to know where to find the Discord. The Discord link, if you go on the actual Kickstarter page for the Rewindpix Camera, the Kickstarter should be at the bottom of the page. It'll say join the Discord. Yeah, if not, I will probably post the Discord link later on my story on my personal Instagram, which is ambient_necrosis. Therefore, if you'd like to join the Discord and see a whole host of sample images, and I mean a whole host, a lot more than you're going to see on YouTube, I assure you, I would very much recommend people to join the Discord. If you don't know what Discord is just a social app that essentially most people on PC use to communicate with each other. Again, you don't have to communicate with people. You can just literally go on Discord and just join the Discord server that we have. It'll be a link. You just click it, click join, and it'll like automatically take you in. You don't have to do anything special, no ID checks, none of that stuff. And then you're in the Rewindpix community. You can go through the different tabs. There's one for Rewindpix photos. You can literally click on that, and then you click on media. At the top, there'll be like a tab thing. You click on media. You can literally view all the photos that all the testers have taken with the tester units, and all the different photos and all the different filters and stuff applied. I wish I could screen share with you, because I do have a reference image on this iPad which shows a selfie of my face, and then I've gone through every single filter on the app and basically applied that filter to my face. So it's basically a reference image that shows how each filter affects a selfie, if that makes sense. However, I don't know if I can screen share this. I will try. I know I can do green screen, but I don't know if I can do anything else. Green screen set do. So yeah, apparently I cannot screen share. I apologize. I can only apologize. There's not much else I can do. But yeah, does anyone else have any further questions? I'm sorry that I'm not the greatest at live streaming. I'm trying my best. Okay, now the chat has seemingly disappeared. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't see the chat now all of a sudden. I don't really know what's going on with that. I will have to check on my phone if if I can. To see if anyone's actually asked any further questions. But yeah, I will probably keep going for another 5 minutes. So if anyone has got any questions with regards to the Rewindpix camera, let me know in the live chat below. Do you charge it with a brick or over laptop? You can charge it via any way that you wish. Hello from Discord. Perhaps you dupes here. Great work. Thanks, Charlon. Appreciate you. There's not really any other questions. I don't believe there's any other questions. Also, apologies if I look really terrible and look like some homeless hobo. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I work nights. So this is pretty much I've just got out of bed, thrown on a hoodie and a tank top look. So I apologise. I'm working with what I got, okay? I'm working with what I got. But yeah, I thought I'd do the stream because I thought it would help people that may have questions or concerns with regards to the camera. You know, if anyone's got kind of uncertainties about the camera, or they're kind of unsure, or they've heard that there's shutter lag and this and that, and yada yada yada. So this is why I'm here, because I'm fully aware there's a lot of reviews on there, a lot of reviews from people that have the old test units that are not a true reflection of what we currently have. I am planning to do a massive overview video that pretty much explains everything, including the camera, the app, how the app works, all the different filters, all the different film sims, how they work, my experience with the camera, what filters work, what filters don't work, what mist filters to use, experiments with the camera, whether you can use a shutter release cable. One thing I can tell you, which is actually a really cool little quirk of the camera, is there is actually a C41 filter on the app. And what that does is it takes a picture on the camera that's very similar to a film negative. Now, I thought it'd be a really fun experiment when I was testing the unit to see if I could take pictures in the C41 filter format, so basically using the C41 film stock, and then reverse those images to get a positive out of them, if that makes sense. So essentially taking the actual negative, because the pictures look like negative images, and then reverse them to get a positive image. Now, what do you think happened? It works. You get a positive image. I've done it. I've done it. And yes, they look like film. And it's pretty cool. Like, I think that's pretty cool. The fact that you could essentially take pictures in a C41 picture style on this camera and reverse them and essentially get a positive, I think is probably the closest you can probably get to shooting digital film. Without actually shooting film, because obviously if you shoot actual film, you're taking obviously pictures, you get the negatives, you go to a lab, they obviously develop your negatives, and then you get your scans back, which are positives, yada yada. You can do the same thing with this camera, but you're taking digital negatives and you can reverse them if you want to. If you want to use that filter for that example, you don't have to use the C41 film stock filter, but you can if you want to. Just going to see if there's any other questions. Oh, there's none. Would you like me to go through all the different film simulations that are available on the app? I feel like that might be pretty useful for some people. So, going down the list of filters, we have currently GLLC, which is a gold 200 low contrast warm tone. We have a PT400 LC, which is a Portrait 400 low contrast, which is smooth, warm tone. We have a Retro Cine, which I think personally is quite close to Cine still, just without halation. On the app, it says, elevate your shots with punchy warmth designed for golden and blue hours. It has a cinematic glow, rich contrast, and vibrant tones to every frame. Now, underneath that, you've got what is known as, well, it's my personal recipe. I've got area color, but that's just one I made myself. You have blue sketch, you've got black and white, you've got black and white high contrast, you've got black and white infrared, you've got black and white low contrast, you've got a C41, you've got a cyber warm, you've got ember, you've got a fade color mode, you've got a Fujifilm 200, you've got a Fujifilm disposable, you've got a Fujifilm expired, you've got a Fujifilm vivid, you've got a gold 200, a gold disposable, you've got gold expired, you've got a gold vivid, you've got a green sketch, you've got Harman blue, you've got Harman red scale, you've got Instacool, Insta warm, infrared color, LC look, Lomo purple, newspaper, Old West, pink. You've got a Portrait 400, you've got a purple, you've got red scale, you've got red sketch, you've got a Sabatier, which is I believe a black and white, kind of very high contrast black and white filter. You've got a filter called the Hotel, which is very kind of retro looking. And then you've also got a VS200, which I believe is meant to imitate, I think it's Vista 200 or something, or Africa 200 or something along those lines. So yeah, a lot of different film simulations and a lot of different film stocks to choose from. And then on top of that, you don't even have to use all of those. You can take any of those and then you can edit any of those different film stocks to make your own. So you don't even have to start from scratch. You can take one that's already on the app and then adjust any of those to your liking and save them. So I mean, there's so many different customization options. You can literally play around with 36 different film simulations, or film stocks, shall I say, and literally customize them to your own personal taste and preferences. Like the customization options are literally endless. You could sit there all night just editing and editing and editing these film stocks and making them exactly how you want to shoot. And I think that's the beauty of this camera. It's like it can be as simplistic as you want, or you can make it as complicated as you want. You know, you can be as simplistic as just a camera you pick up and shoot. You can make it as complicated as I want to sit there and edit different film stocks exactly how I like to shoot. So there's loads of different customization options. You can do so much with the camera. It honestly blows my mind every time I shoot with this thing what I can get out of it. And I say this as a professional who shoots a GH5 Mark II on a daily basis. So make of that as you will. I feel like I'm going to get hate from all the Sony people. The people that shoot Sonys or Canon cameras. Don't come for me. I'm a Panasonic guy. I'm sorry. I can't afford a Fuji. I mean, if Fuji want to send me a camera to test out, you know, I'll test your camera, but I don't have Fuji money, unfortunately. But I do have a kind of a pocket Fuji in the Rewindpix, because this is probably the closest thing you can get to shooting a Fuji and having fun with Fuji and the Fujifilm recipes without it actually being a Fuji. I think this is honestly as close as you can get. And I don't say that lightly. I really don't. The workflow for adding the film stocks to the camera and getting them off as well and changing them is honestly super easy as well. Like I said, it's done wisely within an app. I believe there was a lot of concern from people saying, you know, what happens to the app if it all goes tits up? You know, there will be a desktop app later down the line. So for those people that like to use the camera with their PC, that is something that is gonna kind of happen later down the line. However, if you're expecting that desktop app to kind of be, you know, in the next couple of weeks or when the camera releases, don't hold your breath. Obviously, this camera is made to be used with the phone app. The desktop app is still in development, and I think they want to add a whole host of features to the mobile phone app before they roll it out as a desktop app, if that makes sense. So things like halation and loads of other features that I'm sure they're going to add. I don't know what other features they're going to add. I don't know what kind of the roadmap looks like for the Rewindpix. What I do know is that the creator is very much involved and is very open to ideas that we as testers post on the Discord community. And even people that aren't testing the cameras, they can put suggestions forwards, and he's been very receptive of those ideas and implementing them to obviously develop the camera and the app to kind of coincide with each other and basically just to improve the experience for people. So I'd highly recommend. Yeah, and like I keep saying, like join the Discord. Literally join the Discord. I couldn't recommend this enough. But hello, any further questions for me regarding the Rewindpix camera? Anything you want to see? Anything you want to know? Any questions at all? I may not be the creator, but I have got a whole host of knowledge, and I do have direct communication with the Rewindpix camera creator. So if I can't answer your question now, I can pass it forwards to him, and he can answer it, and I can make a follow-up video that addresses your question. I'm going to give this stream another 4 minutes. If nobody asks me anything, then I guess we will end the stream. Anyone have any questions? I also really want to vape, but I can't do that on camera. I'm trying to stay professional, so I apologise. What else can I show you? I can show you the box. I can show you the box. I can show you what comes in the box. I can show you what the box looks like. Box look like this. That's the box. Also, if you try and scan the QR code, it won't work because those links are not live yet. So I wouldn't even attempt because it won't work. But yeah, in the box you get the quick start guides, the stickers, get a screwdriver. Screwdriver is really cool. I think the screwdriver is probably my favorite thing. I mean, obviously I love the camera, but the fact that I get a mini screwdriver included with the camera, I think just adds value. Because like I can use this for so many different things. As someone that is a cinematographer by trade anyway, like having one of these in my pocket or attached to my keys that came with my Rewindpix is super handy. I mean, I've got so many like little screws on my DSLRs and stuff, and on like even my lenses. Like I can use this screwdriver to fix lenses, bro. Like, because the screws on some of my vintage lenses are so small, and this is like literally the right size mini screwdriver to undo them. Like, gold. Honestly, gold. Like, I'd buy a Rewindpix camera just to get this little mini screwdriver. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is so fun. And it's metal. It's a metal screwdriver. It's awesome. So yeah, shout out Rewindpix team. I want more of this innovation. Little mini screwdrivers that you can have as a keyring. Goated. Such a good idea. Don't see that from your competitors, you know what I mean? Like, when you get this little bad boy, and it has this little thing on the bottom, how are you going to do that? It doesn't come with a screwdriver, does it? It does not. Also, just to talk about the things, this, I believe, the competitor is like a one weird xenon module, which is weird. I don't think this is even a xenon. It looks like an LED that they claim is a xenon. Whereas this actually is a xenon flash, and I believe it has more than one in there, but I don't know. I haven't taken it apart yet. But from looking through it, I can see that there's definitely more than one module in there. So it's a powerful flash, is what I'm going to tell you. I've taken a picture of myself vaping in my bedroom with the light off and used the flash, and I get a perfectly usable image. So that gives you a clear indication that like this flash is powerful. I've also managed to take pictures in complete darkness outside when I took pictures of flowers and fauna, and it's had no issues, and it syncs up perfectly. So make of that as you will. So yeah, if there's no further questions, I will be ending the stream here. So yeah, if you have any further questions for me regarding the Rewindpix camera, the app, or anything with regards to the Rewindpix or the camera, now is the time to ask me. Otherwise, I will be ending the stream in the next 20 seconds. I have been live for quite a while, so like I say, I will be ending the stream in about 15 seconds. So yeah, I'll be ending this in about 10 seconds. So you got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I guess that is it for this live stream. I will attempt another one tomorrow to see if anyone wants to ask any further questions with regards to the Rewindpix camera or the app. But yeah, my name has been Nick. I am a Rewindpix camera tester, and I've been testing the camera for a little over a couple of months now. Yeah, I love it. I honestly love it. I can't wait for people to get this in their hands. I can't wait for there to be limited edition models of this, and I also can't wait until there's a pro version of this, because this thing is honestly the most fun I've had in photography in a very long time. And I say this as, like I say, as a professional who has enjoyed photography for pretty much the last 20 years. This is so much fun to use. Like, honestly, like so fun. I went out today because we had a sunny day here in the UK. I went around the woods. I took photos with this. It was so easy to use. Just phone, load up the 3 different film stocks, off you go. Super easy, super easy. And the results just blow me away every time. So highly recommend. If you haven't already, pick yourself up a Rewindpix. They are available on Kickstarter. Just go on Kickstarter, search up Rewindpix. I'm sure you'll find it. If not, go on my personal Instagram, and the link to the Rewindpix Kickstarter is in my bio. My Instagram is ambient_necrosis. Very easy to find. My name's been Nick, and I am a tester for the Rewindpix. And yeah, this has been a live stream. Hope you have enjoyed, and I'll be back tomorrow to do another one, probably roughly the same time. So yeah, with that being said, thank you very much, and yeah, have a good one. Peace out. Just quickly check the chat to see whether I'm going to ask anything. Nope. Yeah, that's it.